Hey everybody, Jay here from Modern Mississauga. We're with the 2018 Ford EcoSport subcompact crossover. Not the EcoSport, even though you can get an EcoSport engine in your EcoSport. Anyways, it's Ford's subcompact crossover. New to Canada, not new to some other parts in the world, as this has already been released. So let's go to the rear, and the tailgate, as most of you already know, doesn't go up. It goes right to left. So on the left side, dummy reflector. Right side, not so dumb, still a reflector. You just tuck your hand under there, and it's got hydraulic assist, so your first pull gets you halfway open, and there's a good look at just how much it does open up. And you give it a small little push again, and slowly but surely you get much better access to the vehicle. And people have said to me, hey, that's pretty weird because it inconveniences the driver, because you have to go from the driver's seat all the way here, all the way there, open it up and go around and around and around and around. They're not entirely wrong, but what Ford had in mind, I'll get into that in a sec, just that's a good look at how it opens up. So what Ford had in mind is, because we're in North America and Canada, which is part of North America, we park on the right side of the road as opposed to the left side of the road. So if you're unloading something on street level, there's no traffic here, and it is a little safer and easier to get to wherever it is that you're going. So that's why they did the open right side to left side. So yes, it's an extra couple of steps. Your Fitbit will appreciate you if you do that. Whatever, a few extra steps isn't going to hurt anybody. At least I hope it doesn't hurt anybody. Anyways, so that's how the trunk opens, a rear door. No spare tire, obviously no spare tire. I'm going to lift this out because it comes out, actually before I lift it out, a couple of different settings. So you get your top, your middle lower, and very, very bottom. So definitely adaptable to whatever kind of stuff you're carrying in the back. Spare tire here? No. What they have is some tire sealant, which is, I don't know if you can hear that. Where's the word tire? Yep, there's tire sealant. And you have your little jack kit to pump your tire back up. So saves space, saves weight. We'll put it back. Let me get my trusty sheet out to tell you how much storage space is back here. So here we have 592 liters cargo space. I'll pop the seats down to get 14.9. So 1,100. Oops, there's a plane. 1,414.9. So one touch button. Come on. Down it goes. Another touch right there. Down it goes. So it doesn't fold flat. As you can clearly see, it angles upwards. Get my little note out of there. This does come off. I don't know if I can do it with one hand or not. Oh yeah, I can. So basically that just pulls in and out. So there is 1,414.9 liters of cargo space. I'm just gonna tuck this away here. So it doesn't, well, it can go flat. Anyways, not important right now. Let's get to the rest of the vehicle. I'm gonna leave that open. Oh, there's your little hydraulic bar at the bottom. It's kind of a weird design. I'm gonna try and keep that back. You know, let's close that back door and give you a bit of a better look at it. Kind of tinny when it closes. Not really a big fan of that, but anyways, it kind of looks like someone just pushed all the four corners in on a Ford Escape and came up with the EcoSport model, which is what this is. It's hard to believe from this angle, most angles, that these are actually 17-inch tires. Oh, by the way, this is the top trim SES. Everything you can possibly want as far as Ford is concerned in your subcompact crossover, all for $27,040. The wheels look much smaller than 17, just the proportions of it look a little off to me. You have your side turn signals integrated into the side mirrors. There's a look at the front, so it's kind of like a little baby Escape. You have your LED day runners, not on now, just your regular night lights, which are not LEDs, and nice orange turn signals up front. There's another look at the side of the car from a little higher angle. It doesn't look bad, it's just the proportions for the wheels and the wheel wells just look a little weird to me. Just me, I don't know if the rest of you guys feel that way. But, you know, standing back and looking at it there, just the wheels look really, really small for 17s. it's more of like a taller vehicle than, you know, if they were able to keep the seating position high, just lower the roof or just lower it down a couple inches, I think it would look a lot better. That's just my 2 cents on it. This is the all-wheel drive model because, again, it is the top of the line SES. There's your SES badging. There's your four-wheel drive badging. And there's the word EcoSport. Not EcoSport, EcoSport. All right, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with an inside look 2018 Ford EcoSport subcompact crossover. All right, we're back with the 2018 Ford EcoSport. One thing I like right off the bat, the headrests fold down at a push of a button. That is partially to be able to have the seats fold down. This is really curved in there, as you can see, so it allows the seat to go into there. And as well, for me, I keep them down. It's just better visibility out of the rear. Cool little design on the seats. It's all the way throughout. Thin but deep pockets behind the seats. There's a look up front at what we're going to take a better look at in about a minute, maybe less than a minute. Cool door accents there as well. They match the car, and they very nice matching stitching as well for the seats and the headrest. Just, it's a nice touch. Makes it look a little better. So let's jump in and take a look and a listen and find out what's going on the inside of the car. So the start stop button is way up high. There would be your key ignition, but because it's the top of the line one, we have the push button start. So let's get the air conditioning on. I like the way they did this. It's very smart, very simple to use, no guessing at all. Get rid of the feet there, and that's your on-off button as well. Your fan, speed, and everything else. You can knock off your automatic start stop, thank goodness, and thank goodness it's in such an easy place to find it. See, I understand why it's needed and why they had to put it in. It's not for everybody, especially if you're in 401 traffic, which is kind of ridiculous. There is a 12-volt adapter. There's a couple of USBs. There's your traction control on and off, which shows up on or off, on, off, on. All right, Ford, what do we got? So we have some storage space here, a tiny touch of storage space there, your cup holders, a little more storage space in there, a 2-tiered armrest for storage. So you lift it up and you're like, oh look, that's all I get? You can't be serious, can you? Nope, you're not serious. And that's a pretty generous amount of space. I'm almost up to my elbow as far as space goes. Yes, it's narrow, but it's fairly deep, so you can throw a bunch of stuff in there, and that little tray just goes right on top of it. They give you a handbrake. Very nice. Well done, Ford. Thank you for not making an electronic handbrake in there. Yeah, right there. Very good. Paddle shifters, not crazy about them. And this is a good segue into the power of the vehicle. So, 2.0 liter engine, 4-cylinder engine, 167 horse, 149 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed automatic transmission with your paddle shifters. The car is really slow. Sorry, Ford, you guys do fantastic things, but there is just such a lag in getting up to speeds. You've got to really push down, and your engine's running up around 3.5, 4.5 thousand RPMs as you switch gears. I haven't driven the 1 liter 3-cylinder EcoBoost yet, but I would love to. I find that the 2-liter engine is very slow. Simply put, you know, you push down, you're not going to be in any kind of danger. You know, the car's not going to sputter and prevent you from getting up to highway speeds. But, you know, you really got to push down as hard as you can. You know, maybe even throw it into sport mode. Just when you're getting on the highway, just to kind of get that extra hard push and extra boost to get you up to your speed a little quicker. Just in my experience with a week in the car, you need it. And again, it's not a big, huge flaw. You know, not all cars are fast, and not all cars or SUVs or crossovers are torque heavy. You know, it's just, I find that it's a little underpowered as far as the numbers go. But that's my 2 cents on that. Slower than I like? Yes. Is it dangerous? Not one single iota at all. Just give that little pedal on the right a bit of a harder push, and then you're good as far as getting up to speed goes. All right, so that's that. 10.2 and 8.0 are your fuel efficiency figures, averaging at around 9. Not too bad. I'm at 8.6 liters per kilometers per 100. Wow, that was terrible. 8.6 kilometers per 100 liters per liter. That's not right at all. Oh, I think I got the wrong figure. Anyway, I think it's this might be typed in wrong. Let's get that in focus. No, 8.6 kilometers per liter of gas. Yeah, that's my figure. I've done 196.8 kilometers so far. It's just around 200, and I'm pretty much at the exact halfway mark for the gas. Speaking of gas, the car holds 55.2 liters of gas. All right, so that's that. Let's talk about the dash. Simple, easy to understand, typical Ford. I like the way it's laid out. Very clean, very nice. Again, easy to pull all your information out of it. You have an 8-inch screen, I believe. Yeah, 8-inch screen. Everything is so easy to get to. It's a Sync 3, so it's really, really good. Very intuitive, very easy to run through. You get your navigation and your Bluetooth and all that good stuff. Steering wheel, there's something missing here, and it's weird because it's off. It's not quite centered. Yes, you have your audio controls there, and those controls up there, and that's your cruise control stuff. It feels weird, like just looking down, there should be something left, something right. Anyways, I digress on that. Seats, they're fairly comfortable. You know, they're okay. A little bit of side bolster, a little bit of thigh bolster there. That nice orange trim. The car's, I think it's called Canyon Ridge. So there's some of the exterior color on the inside. There, and anyways, you get the point. There is a sunroof. Not too bad. This threw me off a lot because I'm not used to seeing any kind of anything written or anything etched into the actual roof. All the cars I've had have been just the solid or the clear glass without any etching there. But yeah, still works. Doesn't really matter because you shouldn't be looking up. But I look around at cars a lot, so that's what I noticed there. I think that is it for the inside. It's not bad. It just feels a little narrow. You can see the A-pillars curve. Yeah, that's actually a good shot. They kind of curve inward a little bit. And there's that little tiny hole so you can see through, and it's more advantageous over there because if you're looking here, which is my line of sight, like you really can't see anything unless you really crane your head and take a peek out there. But it just feels a little on the narrow side, just even with these. Maybe this is part of the optics of it. The fan, the vents kind of angle inward as well, and those angle inward. What's interesting, I don't know if I can do it with one hand. I'm gonna try. So I'm just gonna push the seat, oops, sorry guys, all the way up, and it actually kind of just, you can tell it's pushed in against this, and it's got a little too much contact there. So you know, if you're putting stuff in the rear and you got to push the front seat all the way up, it does rub pretty heavily against it. So I'm just gonna move it back a bit so I don't affect the corner of the seat like that. Yeah, I think that's it as far as the inside of the car goes. Yeah, that's it. That wraps it up. I think. Oh, you got your little sunglasses holder there as well. Close that up, and a couple of light options there. All right, that's going to wrap up the inside of the 2018 Ford EcoSport. The interior it's okay. The seats are kind of comfortable, and it just feels a little narrow, but keep in mind what kind of car it is that we're talking about. It's their subcompact crossover. You're not going to get a ton of space like you get in the Escape, or even a Fusion, or even a Focus for that matter. This is a very specifically modeled car, so please keep that in mind as well. All right, we'll be back with the driving portion. Wow, I'm gonna try that one more time. We'll be back with the driving portion very, very soon. All right, we're back with the final in-car portion of the 2018 Ford EcoSport. As mentioned before, 2.0 linear engine, 4-cylinder, 167 horse, 149 pound-feet of torque through a 6-speed transmission. It's a little slow for my liking. Before we get going, So the top trim SES goes for $27,040. That's 27040. You can get an Escape second from the top, the SAL trim, for $26,312. And you get nearly 2,000 liters of cargo space, which is about 500 liters more with the seats down, and about almost 400 more liters of cargo space with the seats up. So it depends what you want out of a car. I would go with the Escape. Just I get more cargo space, and that's what's important to me in a vehicle. And 179 horse, 177 pound-feet of torque. So that would be my choice as far as either spending $27,000 on an EcoSport top trim, or $26,300 on the second from the top SEL for the Escape. Anyways, let's get going. So what I want to do, actually, before we get going, sorry, one other thing, last thing I promise. So I'm not sure you can see right there. There's my RPM gauge. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'll call out the numbers as I go along, just to kind of show you how high the revs go when we're moving. So third gear now, and it's kind of going in the 2.5 range. I'm in a residential street, so I'm not, gunning it. I don't need to get up to speed in a hurry because, again, residential zone. The car drive, it handles as well as a subcompact crossover will. You're not going to beat anybody off the line. You're not going to be running around curves and twists and turns with as much agility as as something lower to the ground or with a little more power. The all-wheel drive will come. Four-wheel drive will come in handy in the winter months in Canada. Right? So now I'm kind of, again, residential streets. Resting RPMs in fourth gear are 1,500. So it's not too bad. But again, you're not going to be on residential streets all the time. You're going to be on highways, and you're going to be on some streets that have higher speed limits other than the 40, 50, maybe even 60 kilometer note that we have here. I like the Sync 3. I like that it's easy to use, easy to run through. There's not a lot of guesswork there. The steering wheel is it's kind of comfortable. Let's say it's not uncomfortable. Let's put it that way. Paddle shifter is here, and you want to pop it back one more from drive. That gets you into your sport mode. So what I'll do is I will try and get up to speed a little quicker once we get around this turn. So 3,000, 3.5, 4,000, 4.5. Change gears, 3,000 again, changing gears, and I'm only at 60, maybe 65. Brakes are pretty good. Stops you very quickly. Again, the auto start stop is there. If you're stuck in highway traffic and you don't want to be starting and stopping and starting and stopping, it's great if you're at lights, maybe some of the longer lights out there. Again, 3,000 RPM for the change, 4,000 RPM for the change. So it's slow on the uptake, and I'm not pushing down as hard as I can, because as I mentioned before, if you're getting on the highway, go down all the way. Just push your foot down, because the last thing you want to do is be that person who's slow getting onto the highway on-ramp. Again, 4,000 and a bit, 3,500 for RPM changes. And that's not always going to be the case. If you take it nice and slow, yeah, it'll take you an extra few seconds to get up to speed, and you won't burn as much gas. But even conservatively, 3,000 for the change. And again, I'm at 60 kilometers per hour. So you can adjust it depending on what it is you want. If you're in a hurry, you got to get somewhere, you got to get out of a dangerous situation, you got to pass somebody, obviously foot down, it's going to go. But the general feeling that I've gotten after about a week of driving the car is that it's a little underpowered. There's just I think 167 on the horse, and almost 150 on the torque. Aside from that, for what the car is and what the market is, if you're just looking for a small car to boot around the city with, maybe do some road trips there, it's not bad. You get heated seats with a top SES trim, and the four-wheel drive, and the Sync 3, and the navigation. So, you know, there's a lot to play around with. You've got your blind spot monitoring as well. Let me just pull over here for a quick sec and put the car in reverse. And there you have your backup camera. And it's great because when you turn the wheel, the white lines shift you as well to let you know kind of how far you are for the parking spot, or wherever it is you happen to be backing into. Yeah, so overall, it's a cute little car. I'm not sure how many sales this is going to take away from the Escape, or how many more Escapes are going to be sold compared to the EcoSport. But you know, I guess time will tell, and it's not like Ford has brought this on foolishly. You know, anytime a new car comes out, there's going to be people that like it and people that don't. But the subcompact crossover market is booming. You know, the whole crossover market is booming itself. And you know, Ford kind of had to do this because they've wiped out the C-Max and the Fiesta and the Fusion and the Focus. So, you know, higher seating position, and you know, it's not bad, and it's good for puttering around in the city. And that's my take on that. That'll wrap up this part of the review, and thanks to the review in total. So if you do have any questions, please let me know in the comments section. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll be back next time with another car to review from Modern Mississauga.